When your soil feels like concrete, it can really crush your gardening spirit. You've tried tilling, top dressing, maybe even gypsum or compost, but nothing sticks. The soil dries like a brick, cracks wide open, and water just runs off. But what if the solution didn't come in a bag or a shovel, but from an old summer crop you were about to pull out and toss? Today we're diving into one of the laziest but most powerful soil revival tricks you've likely never heard of: rotting okra roots left in the ground after harvest. It sounds too simple, maybe even silly. But this underground secret is a slow-release soil conditioner that breaks up clay, feeds worms, and builds soil life from the root zone up. If you're growing in compacted beds, sticky clay, or lifeless patches that resist every effort to improve them, you'll want to watch this to the very end. What we're about to reveal might completely change the way you think about plant roots and why sometimes what's left behind is more valuable than the harvest itself. Let's dig into the science and the step-by-step process of turning dead okra roots into a living soil remedy. Okra isn't just a heat-loving summer vegetable, it's a powerhouse for regenerative gardeners. The plant's deep taproot pushes through compacted layers that most crops can't penetrate. While it's growing, it quietly channels water, air, and nutrients into the deeper soil zones. But what really makes okra special is what happens after the plant dies. When you leave okra roots to decompose in the ground, they act like natural soil aerators. The taproot breaks down first, leaving a vertical tunnel. Finer side roots decay more slowly, releasing sugars and starches that attract fungi, beneficial microbes, and most importantly, earthworms. These decaying root canals create porous paths that water can finally sink into, instead of pooling or running off. Instead of disturbing the soil by ripping the roots out, the lazy gardener lets them rot in place. Over time, the underground network softens the surrounding clay, boosts biological activity, and creates a crumbly, fertile structure that's easier to plant into next season. Clay soils are dense, compact, and often low in oxygen. Tilling may temporarily loosen them, but they collapse again once the rains come. The real issue lies beneath the surface, where there's no structure, no airflow, and little microbial activity. This is where decomposing roots shine. As okra roots break down, they naturally restructure the soil from within. They don't just leave air pockets, they change the soil biology. Clay particles start clumping into stable aggregates around the decaying roots, forming what's known as crumb structure. This gives soil a soft, sponge-like feel, and drastically improves drainage. Microbes feed on the rotting plant material, and worms follow. In fact, in trials done across raised beds and native soil gardens, gardeners found that worm activity around decomposing okra roots was nearly 4 times higher than in nearby bare areas. That's not just because of the food, but because of the moisture these roots hold even in dry periods. They act like tiny organic water tanks underground. If you've just finished your summer okra harvest and you're prepping beds for fall or winter, resist the urge to yank those plants. Instead, do this. First, cut the stem off at the base, just above the soil line. Don't disturb the root zone. Let nature take it from here. If you're in a cold zone, you can even layer mulch or compost on top for insulation. In warm zones, cover with a light mulch like straw, grass clippings, or dried leaves to keep moisture in and decomposition steady. Over the next few months, the roots will soften and collapse, sending nutrients into the rhizosphere, the living root zone, where your next crop will feed. By the time spring rolls around, you'll be planting into a bed that's loose, dark, and alive with activity, all thanks to a root system you didn't touch. This method works especially well in no-dig systems and raised beds that are plagued with compaction. And the beauty is, it doesn't cost you anything. You've already grown the plant, now you're just letting it finish the job underground. While this is a passive method, you can boost decomposition if you want faster results. One way is to water the root zone regularly, especially during dry weeks. Another trick is to apply compost tea or diluted molasses water to feed the microbes that break down the roots. Microbial life speeds up the decay process dramatically. Adding a layer of cardboard or a tarp over the area can help retain warmth and moisture, especially useful in cooler zones where decomposition slows in fall. But even without these enhancements, the slow rot of okra roots will eventually transform your clay-heavy bed into a fertile, sponge-like growing medium. If you don't grow okra, or you're out of season, similar benefits can be found with other deep-rooted plants like sunflowers, daikon radish, comfrey, or even corn. But okra has a unique combo of thick central roots and fibrous feeder roots that make it especially effective for breaking up clay and feeding the soil web as it decays. It's a hidden gift in the garden, one that most gardeners toss out without realizing its power. At Hydrohaven, we love bringing you regenerative methods that work with nature, not against it. This okra root trick is a perfect example. It's free, effortless, and fully organic, the kind of lazy gardening practice that actually delivers long-term results. The key takeaway? Don't rip your garden out when the season ends. Let your plants finish their cycle underground. The biology beneath the surface is just as important as what grows above it. So next time you harvest okra, remember, the real magic isn't just in the pods, it's in the roots. If you found this guide helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to Hydrohaven and share this video with fellow gardeners. There are thousands of growers struggling with hard, lifeless soil, and this one lazy trick might be exactly what they need to transform their garden from dead to thriving. Don't forget to drop a comment below and tell us what plant roots you've used to build better soil. We read every single one. More lazy soil building tips are coming your way, so stay rooted and we'll see you in the next video.